What's up, guys? Welcome to our 5th ever episode of ZGN Talks. I'm your co-host, Miliana. This is your co-host, Mitchell. And, today we're going to be talking about, making 3K a month, flipping Instagram pages when we were 17 years old. So, hey, without further ado, take it away.
So yeah, this was actually our first venture that was successful. We were running it at the same exact time when we were working those summer jobs. We actually spoke a little bit about that in our previous episode.
Yes, sir.
And it was a super fun venture. It wasn't anything crazy tedious in comparison to all of our other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to give a little explanation of how the whole process kind of came to be.
So pretty much what we would do is we'd grow Instagram pages in a niche, and we'd grow them using a variety of methods, such as, engagement groups, which is when, a lot of people that are big accounts are in a group chat and like to their content. What that does in the algorithm on Instagram basically verifies that content is, being like capable of, getting traction if big pages are liking it. We used to use engagement groups. We used to basically, that was pretty much our main method of growth, I would say. They pretty much use that in the explore page, and then from there, accounts really take off. Posts really take off. That, bring a lot of followers, anywhere from, I'd say, about 1.5 to, I think, 4K was our most followers off a single post. And, at the peak, we're getting around 15,000 impressions per week with our accounts. I'll put the screenshot somewhere around
15
here.
million.
50. Oh, shit.
Not thousand million. Yeah.
15
There are
million.
going to be somewhere over here, we don't know where, but somewhere here in the middle are going to be a few screenshots of the analytics of those pages.
Yep.
And something that I actually learned is how popular the food niche was.
It was
there was
super popular.
one of these screenshots here, there was one post that we made that went super viral. And also, just a disclaimer, these posts weren't posts that we filmed. These were other people's posts. So pretty much we would find posts that are already doing well on Instagram, getting a lot of traction, and we would take them, post it on our page, and then we would obviously give credit in the description of the person who originally created the post. And that would be a win-win for them too, because people will come to our page, see who originally created that post.
Go give them a follow, give some engagement too.
Go
That's
ahead
a
and
win-win.
give them extra engagement. And yeah, I remember there was this one post that we got over 2,000 followers off that one post. And again, there's a screenshot somewhere here, and it was like this video. It was, those cooking videos that you'll be scrolling on Facebook, for example, and it's like a brownie.
This stuff that makes you hungry.
Super delicious looking dessert, and it's basically in super fast paced. And it was a brownie one. I think it was a brownie one. And that post blew up like crazy. We gained over 2,000 followers within the span of 24 hours.
Yep.
And we're just watching our phone and the notifications going absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that was a super fun experience to go through.
We had to meet those notifications after a while. Yeah, so pretty much what we do, grow a page in a niche and then sell it to, a brand or a company that's in that niche. For instance, give an example, we would, let's take monster trucks, I guess. So we grow a page and we name it like best monster trucks, something catchy, obviously not that. And we would post a ton of monster truck content from around Instagram and basically give credits to people and repost their stuff. Put it in engagement groups, basically get it trending, put it on the explore page, get a lot of followers off that, and, just rinse and repeat. And then eventually, we'd hit up a brand or a brand would hit us up, and we pretty much find a way to sell these accounts to brands and companies, because, we might not sell, tickets to monster truck events, that company does. So the value of the people liking our page is is high enough for them to, to be worth buying it from us.
Yeah, because over time, also on any social media platform, as it exists longer, it gets much harder to grow organically.
Much harder.
And a lot of ways that people grow today is obviously through paid traffic. Now, this was 3 years ago. The algorithm, Instagram's algorithm, is much different today than it was then. And I'm sure going viral is way differently. But then at the end of the day, business owners could be lazy. They could be lazy, and it's much easier to probably buy a page that's already built up. And in that case, we were kind of able to solve that problem. But at the end of the day, we wouldn't just pick a random niche and build a page up. We would find niches that are currently doing well, that are in demand, a lot of businesses. So, for example, people love traveling. We built a few successful travel pages because, certain people, for example, can't afford to travel where they want to. So the way they compensate for that is by going on Instagram, going on YouTube, Facebook, kind of watching those videos, watching other people experience what they want to experience, because it gives them that level of joy. And it further proved why we were getting so much engagement on those pages.
We had a couple posts went super crazy viral. Like those guys that are doing like those jet packs in Dubai
Oh, yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
Remember,
yeah.
we also made an ad, to like swap shout outs or do shout outs to their
Oh,
pages
yeah,
as well.
so
We had a crazy
I
ad.
remember we did. So influencer shout outs worked super. Some of them still work well today, but they worked much better 3 years ago. So we took a lot of the viral videos that we found and kind of put it into one montage,
giant,
one
crazy
1 minute montage, and at the end of the video is pretty much like a whole logo thing going on. And then we would find other niches that we wanted to get followers from. I remember at one point we spent like $800 in a day on 10 different pages. These pages ranked anywhere from 200,000 followers to 1.5 million. And I remember in that one day we grew 4.5K followers around that range, and it worked out super well.
Yeah, so pretty much we do shout outs, engagement groups. Ours, the two main, I would say basically two main methods of growth. Then, as you say, sell it to some brand or company and, just rinse and repeat. And that's do that a couple times. And we were making about $3K a month through, shout outs and, helping companies grow the page and selling pages. So that's kind of where we were at 17. I think that was a pretty good, easy business, I would say, as a 17-year-old compared to, what we could have done instead for sure.
And also something that I did want to mention is the fact that on average, it was on average $3K a month. There could have been 1 month. The reason we didn't end up still doing it to this day is obviously, for example, the Instagram algorithm is way different. We ended up transitioning to eBay because it gave us more control.
And consistency.
Exactly. We enjoyed the venture. The one problem we had was that 1 month we would make $1,000 profit. Another month we would make $6K profit. Then another month
zero.
We would end up making 2.5K, zero exactly. So it was super volatile, and then it ended up averaging to around 3K. But I just didn't really like that volatility. Like I didn't like the idea of going into the month not knowing exactly how much we would be making.
There was a lot of replying to DMs and stuff like that.
That too.
So that was super annoying.
When it comes to, because sometimes we would also buy a page that's already grown. Grow it even more. And just being able to negotiate, like people get super stingy over $20. And that would just get irritating to go back and forth with.
It was a little bit urgent, but I feel like we should also talk about some free strategies that used to work well back then. I mean, they still kind of work today, but not as much of an effect.
So yeah, hashtags.
Hashtags are the huge thing. So what we do is essentially do this hashtag pyramid, and essentially, so for those of you that don't know, hashtags have pages on Instagram, or if you go to like hashtag travel, you can see the top post and the most recent post. So essentially what you could do is based off the size of number of posts in the hashtag, you could put up to 30 hashtags, on a post or in the comments of the post. And essentially what you could do is you could put small hashtags, medium hashtag, large hashtags. So you would put a lot of small hashtags, your post would turn to the top of those hashtags, it would get liked, turn to the top of the medium hashtags, get liked, and then hopefully, go to the top of big hashtags, get liked, and then it would really blow up. So, I mean, that's kind of one really, really good way we use to grow, optimizing hashtag usage.
I'd say pretty much the main two ways was that hashtags, and actually it still works today.
Yeah, it still works. I wouldn't say as strong because now there's more competition.
Yeah, exactly.
But it still works.
Still works. Hashtags will always work. Like we've personally, and flipping pages aside, we've made a lot of great connections. For example, if we're flying to a certain country and we want content work done there, we're able to find good photographers, videographers through these hashtags. And so yeah, hashtags. And I'd say the second main way was pretty much just finding those right engagement groups and finding the right Instagram network of accounts that are already built up. Because as you mentioned earlier, the way to really blow up a post, get it on the Explore page and get it that desired engagement is to have your post get engagement from accounts that are celebrities, influencers, accounts that if Instagram sees engaging with another
validation.
Post, exactly, validation. That's pretty much how their whole algorithm works through that.
Yeah, so we pretty much went from that, and as I say, we transitioned to eBay because Instagram is really, really volatile, and we went from that was more of a service, I would say, more than a product. It's a little bit blurry lines.
Yeah. We were essentially the middleman.
Yeah.
Between certain followers and consumers of the page and a business owner who was trying to pretty much convert those cold leads from the page.
I mean, I don't know if it's a question. What were we exactly selling? Were we selling more the attention of the followers, or were we selling more the page itself? Because one's a service, one's more of a product.
I'd say it's a bit of both. Because for example, if I'm a business owner and I'm buying a built-up page, I'm buying it for social proof. Mm-hmm. So when I promote my business, customers come to my business, they see it's a built-up page that has engagement. And B, at the end of the day, we didn't really talk to them exactly like why they were buying the page. We just knew you guys wanted to buy it. Cool, here it is. But also they might have been like, look, this page already has a lot of engagement, followers, a lot of attention coming its way. Maybe I can even get a small percentage of these people and convert them.
Yep. So we pretty much went from that into eBay because eBay was a lot more consistent in the way we sold things, doing wholesale drop shipping, all that good stuff. So eBay was a lot more consistent than Instagram. Like for instance, you wouldn't see like giant spikes. Where you'd go like someone's would be at zero, someone's would be really high. For the most part, I would say it was a lot more consistent than Instagram by a landslide.
And I kind of just wanted to bring up present day Instagram, where I see a lot of things going is, it's like, for example, Facebook ads.
Yep.
Facebook used to have really good organic reach, and advertisements used to be way cheaper. And over time, as corporations started coming in and dumping money into advertisements, organic reach became way harder. Advertisements became more expensive, and that's similarly what's going on to Instagram now. A few years ago, organic reach was much better.
Yep.
Hashtags still work today, but they work definitely much more efficiently. It was much easier to go viral. While now a lot of people are, running ads on it. Facebook owns Instagram.
Yep.
A lot of money is being dumped into Facebook ads, and because of that, that whole organic reach ordeal is kind of becoming a discussion of, time is it time to change platforms? Should I keep trying to produce content?
Yep.
So,
like relating back to ads, like 3 to 5 years ago, big companies like Coca-Cola weren't necessarily, bidding up the prices of, ads on Instagram. And now they are. So things are a lot more expensive, I would say, ads wise than they were like a couple of years ago.
So I'd say now, like, for example, if you're watching and you're trying to grow on Instagram, yeah, at the end of the day, the reason people will follow you is because, A, they're entertained, and they pretty much, you have some sort of value to offer them. Like, everyone I follow on Instagram, pretty much, the reason I'm following them is, A, because I know them, or B, I enjoy, I'm entertained by what they post or see. They offer some sort of value to me. So I'd say value-based marketing is the best way to go. And at the end of the day, if you really want to grow fast, you either want to start investing money into advertisements. Now, don't randomly just throw money into advertisements because they're much more complicated than you think. Do it, have a whole strategy behind
responsibly.
It. Exactly.
That's the word.
And also, like, for example, LinkedIn, depends on the type of content you want to consume, but LinkedIn is currently having ridiculous organic reach, similar to, say, Facebook in 2012.
Yep.
And it's only a matter of time. Same with TikTok, too.
Yep.
Crazy organic reach. It's only a matter of time before they start going the Facebook, Instagram route, where lots of companies are advertising. Organic reach is becoming way harder, and then it's just much harder to grow if you don't have the money.
I think TikTok is really interesting because one of the reasons Vine shut down is because it was really hard to get a lot of sponsorships on that platform.
Yep.
I think LinkedIn definitely has the potential to go from more professional space to more of like a social professional space, and it kind of already is with articles, stuff like that. I think TikTok kind of has a long way to go because they're all the way over here. It's mainly like, people that are younger, and it's really hard, to sell ads on those people because of, certain laws. I forget the laws about children on the internet that came out recently.
On TikTok?
No, just all platforms. They had this rule where like you're no longer,
allowed. So the whole advertising policy. Yeah.
There's no longer collect the data of minors. So that's also going to affect TikTok ads. And since the majority of their platform is young, it's going to be a little bit hard for, TikTok to monetize their platform. So I think TikTok has a long way to go. I think they might have to wait a couple of years because, all those young people are going to turn old and, become consumers. But as of right now, they're not really in the age where they're really buying that much.
I mean, similar with Facebook. I remember I created my first Facebook account when I was still in middle school, and now starting, as I grow older, I started running ads. So it's kind of like a whole process that TikTok gets the young audience.
Exactly.
This audience is going to grow with them, and once they have enough, boom, advertisements. TikTok is able to monetize their users.
LinkedIn's going back from a professional space. They're trying to like walk it back, make it a little more social. Be able to run ads.
There's one problem I have with LinkedIn, by the way. Obviously, great platform, lots of networking. It's helping a lot of people get jobs now because advertisements are super cheap.
Oh, it's flooded, dude.
The organic reach is ridiculous. You start seeing people that you don't know at all. You're like, why am I seeing this? You're also getting a bunch of sponsored messages from people. You're like, oh, obviously this person's trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
This is annoying. It's just, you look at my whole mailbox is just spit
all the way down.
And I'm like, scrolling.
No, I know exactly. Dude, I got like three. I got one message yesterday. I had like one message 2 weeks ago. I'm like, why are these people messaging me?
I'm getting offers from people like, oh, you want to buy this software? Oh, I'm selling this house in Connecticut. I'm like, why am I getting ads from people trying to sell homes in Connecticut? I live in California. It just makes no sense. While, for example, on Instagram, I'm kind of scrolling and I only see what I want to see. While with TikTok, you'll keep scrolling. You'll see a bunch of random stuff, but it keeps your attention because it's a completely different audience and process than the other apps.
Yeah. So I think the key to growth, I would honestly say nowadays, if you're into social media, is look for platforms that are emerging. As people like Gary Vee say, like TikTok, LinkedIn, all those platforms offer organic reach. Instagram's glory days are kind of like behind it. that we know of. You know, they could flip it around, like, you know, them adding stories had a huge spike in growth. Like they could do something like that again.
Yeah.
Like they incorporate like a TikTok app, what I think they might be doing.
Exactly. We're actually planning to make a video on the whole plan for Instagram to remove likes, comments, all that stuff.
Super interesting video.
And kind of, you know, because TikTok is not US owned, how's the US going to compete with that? Because, you know, for example, China is collecting a bunch of data from us.
Like if you got
the
like
US doesn't necessarily
touching on it a little bit, like if you're like in the military and you have TikTok on your phone, that's a little bit of a security risk.
It
so
is.
there's a lot of like really, really political stuff going on with TikTok right now.
But that's a video for another day.
Another day.
We don't want to
flood you guys.
Exactly, flood you guys with a lot of information. But kind of went off track, but it's just super interesting because social media is constantly changing. Like 1 year from now, it's going to be completely different.
100%. Like if we were to like just go to sleep for an entire year and then wake up, we wouldn't recognize social media.
We'd be mind blown. Exactly.
And
it would take us some time to exactly. But yeah, that's pretty much a little overview of how we were able to grow Instagram pages and flip it at 17 years old. At that point, anyone can do that. I'm sure people could definitely still do this now. It just comes down
a lot harder.
Yeah, it just kind of comes down to you need to find the right network of influencers because hashtags will work with to a certain extent. Your page isn't going to really go viral unless you know people that are big on Instagram that will interact with your content. Cross-pollination is a big term.
Cross-pollination.
And you just need to produce good value and content that people will enjoy watching because the more people watch and interact with your content, the more Instagram is going to push it up on your homepage, the more they're going to push out your stories. The higher chance you have of actually appearing on the Explore page. There isn't like one quote-unquote secret, just like a lot of you guys know what you need to do on social media to be known. You just have to do it. And then at the end of the day, having the capital to throw into advertisements is a big cherry on top.
I 100% agree with that. Well, I think we pretty much said all we need to say about Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much that, guys. We hope you enjoyed this video. Like, sub, all that. Feel free to share this video. Yeah. We hope this provided value. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you next time.